Hello, I wanted to take out the time to talk a little bit about PNW and how they've been a blessing to our family. Um, I was first introduced to PNW, um, I don't know, some months ago, and it was by a mutual good friend of ours. Um, and I'm so grateful that she did introduce me to PNW because um, I can honestly say that from the get go, I noticed the thing that first captured my attention or caught my eyes was honestly, I kind of saw a picture of Nick's profile from another friend. Her daughter had also gone through treatments, and I noticed on the profile this picture of a baptism. And so that caught my eye immediately. Um, I don't think at the time I realized that it was an organization behind that profile. I had no idea the compassion that the individual at the time, who turned out to be Nick, associated with PNW. Um, I don't think I understood or realized. I know I didn't because I wasn't aware um, who that person would be. It really struck me as odd, in a good way though, and amazing that a profile picture would have baptism of an individual as their primary picture. And why that struck um, a chord with me, or why that stood out for me, was that, you know, when you have Facebook and Instagram and all these social media platforms, YouTube, um, especially on Facebook, there's so many pictures that you can pick and choose to sort of represent you. Um, I know I personally have chosen my daughter's picture, as a lot of parents have. But baptism, that definitely spoke to me. Christianity as being the core and the foundation. And so, long story short, fast forward, because back then I didn't even know what it was about. I just was pretty amazed by that picture as a profile. So fast forward, another mutual friend, introduced me to PNW, and there was never a wait time or a moment of pause between the introduction and the connection. It just seemed to be, as soon as the mutual friend connected us, she handed me off, or our family off, um, and instantaneously there was a connection. There was um, dialogue. It was immediately, paraphrasing because I can't remember the exact conversation, but I'm pretty sure it went off like this. Hello, I'm Nick. I'm associated with PNW. Our mission is to invest in the families of children with serious illnesses. What can we do for you? What can we do for you? Anytime a person starts off a conversation with "What can we do for you?" um, that is something that makes you, something in your psyche realizes, okay, this is really servitude. And servitude is the word that I probably would use to describe what I've experienced through Nick of PNW and the other members. I'm certain that they are just as compassionate, and passionate about serving these children, these lives, and not just from diagnosis through the treatment journey, but even afterward, and success and um, disappointments. They're there. They are sort of in a presence that you really can't get rid of. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're very respectful. As long, at least in my experience, they're very respectful in the sense that, they want to be present, but they don't want to be overbearing. But as long as your heart and your presence is open to their presence, they have been there. For me, um, um, I am a married single mother. um, I don't think it's a secret because I've shared this on social media so much, but my husband's incarcerated and has been since um, I was pregnant with my daughter, who, our story, I kind of hate to go through it because I feel like I've done it so much that people are exhausted by it, but it's still our testimony. So we've been through a lot of diagnoses of the C word and a lot of disappointments and griefs. And so then fast forward to my daughter being diagnosed, which was a year after my mom passed away, which was 5 months after my dad passed away, which was a few months after my grandmother passed away. So this was like within 2 year span. I had my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, my dad, my mom, and then my daughter. And that is not even the beginning of the story. But if we'll start with there, um, I had that situation going on, and then had my daughter being diagnosed, and it's a challenge to deal with one person, with a serious illness, but to go through it with multiple individuals, and I am going through it. Praise the Lord. To have multiple individuals go through it, and you have to have faith, um, faith or failure. Um, Either you believe or you don't. And there will be moments, even when, as a believer, that you have unbelief. But nevertheless, Nick, as a representative for PNW, has been there for us from the moment that we were introduced. It was, I want to meet your child. It's kind of scary at first when you don't know a person and you have an adult that's wanting to meet your child. What's this about? But I have to say that I was amazed with how I was cautious at first, but then I let my guard down pretty quickly um, as I got to get a feel for him and got a feel for how he has been present in so many other lives, the other testimonies that I see and hear of, and just on a day-to-day basis now, having known him for several months. In the organization, the other members who are not as vocal or not as much in the front, I know that they're doing what it takes to keep this establishment up.